this thing we're about to look at is very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. Be warned. Be warned. Share the broadcast. Watch this. Kaya Jeme. Adwoa Safo angry over NPP whore label. You know who a whore is, right? A whore is a woman who sleeps with different men. A whore might just be sleeping with different men. Today I chanced upon a tape and it broke my heart. It was so terrible. It was a tape that came from a man that I've known in the past. In fact, he's called Alex Kwekutete. I've known him along the corridors of Kennedy, Agyapong. This gentleman, he founded a certain trade organization, and he's a man that I've met before. I respect him a lot. He granted an interview to our sister station, Bawumia, and I chanced upon the tape, and it blew my mind. In the tape, he was reacting to Kennedy Agyapong, his baby mother, Adwoa Safo, saying some things against Kennedy Agyapong. Things like, I don't want Kennedy Agyapong to become president because if he does, my ambition, personal ambition as a politician will die. If my CV falls on his table for consideration for a ministerial position, he would not do it because he's a man who would not deal with family and friends. He won't do it. So I have decided to throw my support for Bawumia. And many people criticize this. She went so personal. In fact, you could see on her face that she was very bitter. And when Kennedy Agyapong spoke, he said she is bitter because I refused to support her in the last elections because of her attitude. This woman left the Ministry of Gender, Women and Social Welfare and Children and went and stayed in America for 2 years on an AWOL. She left her constituency and refused to go to the constituency for 2 years. No excuse. Her child was sick and she had gone to America. We saw her on TikTok dancing, you know, and her accent all of a sudden changed. Party became party. Water became water. You know, university became university. And Ghanaians were shocked. Her own constituency that hadn't seen her for 2 years wondered if this was a clone of Sarah Adwoa Safo or the real one. Then there was time for them to come and vote for a certain demonic e-levy. And it was a hung parliament, so they needed her. She demanded that she be made the deputy majority leader in parliament, or else she would not come and vote. At the time, it was Alexander Afenyo Markin. According to Kennedy Agyapong, she demanded that Afenyo Markin be removed so that she would come and take over that post as the deputy majority speaker in parliament, or else she would not vote. 2, she demanded that she be flown via a private jet, 100% luxurious in the west of Abronya, Lozorios, or else she would not come. So they flew her like a queen, packed her fidelity account with cash because the queen of Madabala Bay was coming home. And when she came, she refused to go to the parliament, according to Kennedy Agyapong. And the chief of staff, Akosua Frema, had to follow her up. She went through a lot. We don't want to sound like a broken record. She finally appeared at the Parliament House in a police convoy. At the time, I was told Bagbin was tired, Speaker of Parliament, and they couldn't vote. Well, E-Levy was done, and she had to fly back to America. She demanded that she be flown again in a private jet. My brother, my sister. And what happened? Private jet. Kennedy got angry and called her useless. That she didn't have a good training. And so on and so forth. And she kept it inside her. There's a lot between Kennedy and the baby mother. And they fell apart. They have 2 children. Now, this man who is supposed to be in the camp of Kennedy Agyapong, Alex Kweku Tete, granted an interview to my sister station. And again, I must warn you, it's not too pleasant. Listen to what he said. Watch this.
Adwoa Safo se oni obi ma dem de be kai na se yeko temale ujaa ne homa se John na se John ne dai ye kai ye mo kai na no am keka nsam njo wa otie yewura ekufuado oni Adwoa Safo ada Bawumia oni Adwoa Safo ada se John di ke mo no wa san so ni na bu akoda
Alex miso
oni mi sama me Adwoa Safo no awaye awo original platforms no kata
Alex
madam enkofa we ma na Adwoa Safo ano onu ni wo finda do ni wo yenyan oye onye se senko babonten kasa o papa ye respect no o papa nti e din na da ni sunti e kan bibia fa no ho ana ya ye we kakra
Adwoa Safo se se ebi akopre ko be president ono the ambition as a ebi open minister di ekoto kan animu a one because enkwafo be feel say a family and friends it's because you nim nipa kan so me o mada
political career when enkwafo did when people nim bebre o platform so no mo sire no me wo Bawumia bat ni me ka ho ne nam ye gina platform so a enkwafo say ya mema de un say sa na yetie ye mema.
We are talking about competence here. Any relationship. Alex. Competence as a
minister ministry minister of state what me position at 2 years now we take baby now you're from the chief of staff. Chief of staff, your constitution is the hands of the president. Only wo kasa, obiane wo kasa. O papa mua, o papa na ni mu ye do kroma. Madam, jaja sama o kan.
Alex, but Adwoa came out to explain the issues and why she left the country. Now, or today mo say nya no kore da, say chief of staff. Obetimi abu na nimtia. Ne ma me free ma.
Festival, e ade a obi ani hu ye. E na wo kan. Na compre consuchire mu say ye kai private jet e de ma Adwoa de baye
o say anya no kure
anya no kure nti wo fin say wo ti kroma de na Kennedy aka wo hu ni say entro da onima asem na okay nti wo so chem so Adwoa Safo di chen a compre because of say we obantiana
there be Adwoa Safo na eka say asem akobra ko be kan anya no kure
credibility wo kroma me kan wonte Adwoa MPP more credibility on impenifu nyina de detiti Adwoa ye obi Adwoa na okay ni papa wu na nsampe ni nua be ma opa ma me send video ma o producer Adwoa ko hai me bi so mu koku ni nua no e ma video me ko am di video na
Alex, wait allegation it probably might not be here
Ghana police we are trainer me na post wo me page e dey tag Ghana.
Well, you heard him. The interviewer, my colleague at Onuya FM, tried to stop him, but he was on a full rampage. He mentioned names. And he also said that he attacked the Ghana police on an allegation of a murder attempt. So I called Alex Kweku Tete. And I said, Alex, I had a tape that you put out, and I want to do an interview with you quickly. He said, Blakk Rasta. I said, I want to start recording you. He said, I've been told not to talk about this issue again. Kennedy Agyapong's wife has told me not to speak against it, about it again. We should leave it there. But because it is you, I will speak with you. But my brother, after recording the thing, I wouldn't dare play it. Expletives. This is a little joke. He mentioned more names, more allegations. And I told him, Alex, I am told that Adwoa Safo, who herself is a lawyer, is very angry and she's getting ready to litigate. He told me, okay, let us go there. She would hear sounds. That's the word he used. She would hear sounds. Sounds? Said, yes, sounds. So to play the devil's advocate, I asked, if they ask you in court to prove this, how are you going to prove it? He said, when we get there, we shall cross. But he ended up telling me that he has a way of proving whatever he has said. My brother, my sister, in that tape, he said Adwoa Safo had slept with so many different men in the NPP, including, both boss and deputy. And Kennedy Agyapong is aware. And that when she goes on stage to campaign for the NPP, people start laughing at her. Because the people standing there have all eaten from her pot. It is sad that a woman will be talked about like that. I honestly feel very bad. I'm not a fan of Adwoa Safo. She's still my sister. And I don't want her to go through this humiliation. Now, this guy is from the camp of Kennedy Agyapong. How does Kennedy Agyapong feel that he has 2 children with this woman and somebody from his camp is dehumanizing her like this? How will the children feel that their mother is being talked about like this by a supporter of their father? So I posed the question. And Alex told me, Kennedy knows more than I know. So this is nothing to him. I said, wow. Now, it will be so unfair to listen to one side and not listen to the other side. Though I am not a fan of Adwoa Safo, we are telling her story. So we have to be able to listen to her. Her number that I know, I placed a call to her. It said it's not in use anymore. I was not able to get the current number in use. That's if she has one. But I promise you, we'll get back to her and see what we can do about this. My brother, my sister, it's the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. Please, I know that the heat of the campaign for the primaries is here. But let us be very circumspect in what we say. There are things that we will say that can never be taken back. For me, it is more than just a slander to talk about a woman in this way, even if it was true. And this is a party that is going for an election, the primaries. It's so distasteful, and we have to be careful. I am happy Kennedy Agyapong's wife stepped in and said, please don't talk about this issue again. Let it slide. It's not every fact we put out. There are some facts that destroy rather than make. That's why we say we criticize to build and not to destroy. There are some criticisms that we could make that will destroy. We never make those. When you see us criticize, then our aim is to build, not to destroy. It's the black pot. AKA Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. Is Adwoa Safo truly angry? Is she going to court? How is this going to pan out? We will get her to speak to this. It's the black pot. AKA Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power.